Right now, the USS Gerald R. Ford is slicing through the Pacific Ocean, home to 4,539 people. That's more than the population of most American towns. But these aren't vacationers. They're sailors, Marines, and airmen working one of the toughest, most dangerous jobs on Earth. Every day, they eat 18,000 meals, sleep in spaces smaller than prison cells, and operate the most powerful weapons ever put to sea. The real question is, how do nearly 5,000 people survive for months in the middle of nowhere? The truth is more incredible than you think. The Ford isn't just a ship, it's a floating city, larger than thousands of American towns. And it's not alone. The U.S. Navy runs 11 nuclear-powered aircraft carriers, each carrying its own mini-city of about 5,000 people. Ships like the USS Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, and Ronald Reagan form the backbone of American sea power. These giants are feats of engineering. Each costs over $13 billion, takes nearly a decade to build, and can operate independently for months in hostile waters. Imagine that, 5,000 people living and working thousands of miles from home, with everything they need on board. If you're proud of American naval power, drop a "proud" in the comments. The numbers are staggering. The Gerald R. Ford is 1,092 feet long, longer than the Empire State Building is tall, and displaces over 100,000 tons. Even more mind-blowing, it can cruise 90 straight days without resupplying. Feeding 5,000 people daily is a mission in itself. The ship's galleys run 24/7, serving 18,000 meals a day. To put that in perspective, your local McDonald's might serve a few hundred meals on a busy day. Here, they're cranking out hot food for thousands, in the middle of the ocean, sometimes during combat ops. The storage is massive, warehouses of frozen meat, fresh produce, dairy, and dry goods. And here's the shocker, the food is actually outstanding. Navy chefs train at top culinary schools, compete in cooking contests, and serve meals that rival restaurants. Fresh bread baked daily. Pizza night. Taco Tuesday. Even steak and lobster dinners. These aren't MREs, this is legit cuisine at sea. During mealtime, it's like a choreographed dance, sailors lining up, steam tables loaded with food, hundreds fed in minutes. And all of this happens while jets are launching overhead and the ship rolls through rough seas. But food is just the beginning. Where do all these people sleep? Sailors bunk in racks, beds stacked 3 high in tight compartments. Each sailor gets a personal space about the size of a coffin, complete with a light, air vent, and storage. It's tiny, but after months at sea, it becomes home. Privacy is scarce. Junior sailors may share space with dozens of others, while senior crew get slightly better quarters. Even officers' rooms are smaller than most college dorms. And the captain's quarters? Still cramped by civilian standards. But when you're running a floating city of 5,000 people, space is gold. Now, let's talk about what life really looks like for these 5,000 people. On an aircraft carrier, there are no weekends, no holidays, no days off. These floating cities run 24/7, 365 days a year. Someone is always on watch, always working, always ready. The flight deck alone is one of the most dangerous workplaces on Earth. Jets weighing tens of thousands of pounds launch and land every few minutes, engines powerful enough to suck someone in or blow them straight overboard. The crew that makes it all happen is known as the Rainbow Shirts. Each color means a job. A yellow directs aircraft movement. A blue handles chains and chocks. A red deals with weapons. A purple fuels the jets. A green maintains the catapults and arresting gear. Most of them are young Americans, some barely out of high school, working with equipment worth more than they'll ever make in a lifetime. Just think about it. An F/A-18 Super Hornet costs $70 million. One mistake could destroy a jet, or take a life. Yet they pull it off with precision that feels almost impossible. Below deck, the ship is just as incredible. The Gerald R. Ford is powered by 2 nuclear reactors, each one capable of generating enough electricity to run a city of 100,000 people. These reactors don't need refueling for 20 years and power everything on board. Lights, computers, radar, weapons, kitchens, and even water. And speaking of water, this ship makes its own. The Ford's desalination plants produce 400,000 gallons of fresh water every day, cleaner than what most people drink at home. That covers drinking, showers, laundry, cooking, and every system on the ship. But if you're making water, you're also making waste, and with 5,000 people, there's a lot of it. Food scraps are ground up and safely disposed of. Human waste goes through high-tech treatment plants. Trash is compacted, shredded, or incinerated. Nothing is tossed overboard. These ships are designed to be self-sufficient for months. Now imagine running a hospital in the middle of the ocean. Carriers have full-scale medical facilities, operating rooms, ICUs, X-rays, dental offices, and pharmacies. Navy doctors and corpsmen treat everything from fevers to combat wounds. They've even performed heart surgeries while the ship was moving. If the ship is close enough to land, helicopters can evacuate patients. But when you're thousands of miles out, the medical team is all you've got. And of course, there's the human side. Months away from family can take a heavy toll. That's why modern carriers are equipped with satellite internet, email, and video calls. Compared to the 70s and 80s, when sailors might get one short phone call during an entire deployment, today's crew can stream movies, take college classes online, and talk to loved ones back home. That connection makes all the difference in morale, mental health, and job performance. But what happens when these floating cities face bad weather? The ocean can be brutal. Storms that send smaller ships racing for shelter barely slow an aircraft carrier down. Built to take on the worst Mother Nature throws at them, carriers can ride out 30-foot waves and keep moving. The ship's massive weight and design keep it steady while civilian sailors would be terrified. Sure, flight ops might pause in extreme weather, but the ship never stops. Hurricane-force winds, pounding rain, giant waves, carriers push straight through. Inside, life carries on like nothing happened. 5,000 people still eat, sleep, and work as if tied to a dock. The skill it takes to move 100,000 tons of steel safely across the oceans is incredible. On the bridge, the navigation team works around the clock, monitoring weather, traffic, and threats. Down below, maintenance never ends. Every system, engines, weapons, life support, electronics, must work perfectly. Unlike a car, you can't just pull over if something breaks. With 5,000 lives on board, failure isn't an option. And the training, it never stops either. New sailors learn from veterans. Drills happen constantly: fire drills, damage control, full ship emergencies. When disaster strikes, everyone already knows their role. It's not optional. On carriers, practice saves lives. But it's not all work. With 5,000 people packed into a floating city, a unique culture develops. Chaplains hold services for every faith. The library offers books, movies, and quiet corners for downtime. Gyms and fitness spaces let sailors blow off steam. Entertainment comes in many forms: movie nights, talent shows, even sports competitions between departments. And when seas are calm, the Navy throws a steel beach picnic, barbecues on the flight deck with nothing but endless ocean views. The diversity on board is just as remarkable. Small-town kids from Kansas serve alongside city dwellers from New York or LA. College grads work next to high school dropouts who found purpose in the Navy. What unites them is the shared grind of life at sea, bonds forged in one of the toughest environments on Earth. Career growth doesn't stop in the middle of the ocean. Sailors take exams, complete training, and even earn promotions while deployed. Leadership comes early. Many 20-year-olds find themselves managing teams and handling responsibilities most civilians won't see for decades. Technology is always evolving too. The Gerald R. Ford introduced electromagnetic catapults instead of steam. Advanced radars track hundreds of targets at once. Networks link every department, yet the human factor remains key. Carriers succeed not because of machines, but because of the 5,000 Americans working in perfect sync. And the impact reaches far beyond the ship. Every deployment involves families back home, supply chains, contractors, and port services. The strategic value is massive: air power, humanitarian aid, and a visible show of force anywhere on Earth. The Navy also takes the environment seriously. New carriers are more efficient, waste systems more advanced, and emissions cut wherever possible. After all, the ocean is both workplace and responsibility. Looking ahead, the future promises even more advanced tech. But the mission stays the same: project American power, protect American interests, and show the world what teamwork and determination can achieve. Every meal served, every jet launched, every system maintained is living proof of American ingenuity, grit, and unity. These aren't just ships. They're floating symbols of what we can accomplish together. So next time you see an aircraft carrier in the news, remember the 5,000 men and women who call it home, sacrificing, serving, and keeping us safe on the world's oceans. They deserve not just our respect, but our gratitude. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel.